Hey, welcome to Make It Happen Monday, Rush Hour for Success Media here. I am a guest to help you with your Make It Happen Monday. That's what I've chosen to do. Anyways, so Joanna Wright here, founder of Bottom Line Wealth, helping entrepreneurs, professionals, and realtors create wealth in real estate and keep more of the money they make. So, thanks so much for stopping by and saying hello. If you want to comment down below, let me know that you're here. I would appreciate it. And any suggestions that you would love, topics that you would love me to address on Make It Happen Monday. I'll be here for the first 3 Mondays of the month, and then I take the last Monday off, maybe 2 Mondays off if it's a 5-week month. But I am on 3 out of the 4 typically months or weeks out of the month, so that you get some great trainings on, making it happen, what I've done in my 20 plus years of being an entrepreneur, and, mindset, what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And some people, I mean, they have way more experience than me, and some people are just getting started. So wherever you're at, then I would like you to chime in and let me know. Like, are you brand new to being an entrepreneur? Or are you, do you have 10 plus years experience being an entrepreneur? Like no W-2 job at all, right? Not a side hustle, being a full-time entrepreneur. So I would love to hear from you. Say full-time entrepreneur or brand new in the comments. Okay. Actually, best way to do that is to type in the word red if you're brand new to being an entrepreneur. Type red if you're brand new to being an entrepreneur. And then type green if you've had 10 plus years experience. Okay? That'll make it easier for you to understand. I'm like, okay, I'm brand new, just type red instead of typing out a whole sentence. Anyways, so I wanted to talk to you guys about a couple of things. One thing is, it's near and dear to my heart, is this book. It's called The Four Agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it, those of you who have 10 plus years experience as an entrepreneur, because we all have to work on our mindset and things that we do. And I actually found this book about 9 years ago, and it's been a huge blessing. I can't even tell you how huge. So let me give you an example of how huge. So back in 2008, I lost everything. I was a hot mess. And it led me into some very poor choices and abusive relationship craziness, right? And when I found this book, The Four Agreements, it really changed my mindset that I needed to be the change. I needed to be there's no way I'm going to change this person in front of me who's lost their marbles. Pretty much, that's the simplest way to describe them. I had to change me and my perspective. And the Four Agreements really rang true. I mean, that was the main reason I read it. And then it bled into the principles of my business. And it is the foundation of my success today. So I think that's the most powerful thing a book could ever be, right? It truly is. It is, if you're looking for what it takes to be an entrepreneur or how to improve being an entrepreneur, then this book is for you. It's small, it's tidy, it's a quick read. It's called The Four Agreements, again, from Don Miguel Ruiz. And I just want to go over it today so that you guys can get a taste of what it's all about. So the first agreement I wanted to talk about, I have it written here, is to be impeccable with your word, right? Well, first let me ask you guys, have you ever felt like someone walked all over you? Have you ever felt like someone took advantage of you? Um, but was talking about you, about negative stuff about you behind your back? Did you ever feel that? Did you ever feel lied to? You know, all of those things. They're all. Did you ever feel anything negative coming from other people? I guess is the best way to put it. And the reason I ask that is because I feel like everybody has, right? You're like, oh my God, that chick Cindy, she blah blah blah, or that guy Bob, blah blah blah, whatever, you know, and it leads into a lot of drama in your head. And the reason I'm asking if you've ever felt that way is because in this book it addresses all of those things. And the bottom line is, have you ever asked yourself? Have you ever done that to yourself? Right? Have you ever lied to yourself? Have you ever gossiped about yourself? Have you ever talked about yourself in a negative fashion? Um, and I know we all have. And I know I have. Like, you stupid. Why did you do that? Right? Like that kind of language, um, believe it or not, really stays in your mind. So, this is again why the Four Agreements is so important. And um, so again, what if that somebody was you, like talking all that smack about yourself? You're going, Joanna, come on. But seriously, um, it's how our society's made up. It is Our society is very negative. The media brings us that way. I don't know if you guys noticed that this past year, but the media brings a lot of negativity. That people thrive on negativity. So I probably won't even get a lot of comments or things, feedback on this because people thrive on negativity. And this is a very positive, uh, make it happen Monday. Anyways, I'm just joking. I would love to hear your comments. Let me know you've stopped by. Just hit stopped by just so I know that you stopped here. That's awesome. I know our time is very valuable. So just say hello. That'd be awesome. So I'm looking at my notes here that for Make It Happen Monday, the first agreement that I wanted to go over from this book, The Four Agreements, is to be impeccable with your word. And what does that mean, right? What does that mean? So being impeccable with your, if I can even say the word, right? Being impeccable with your word is, let's say you say you're going to go to the gym and you didn't go to the gym. That's not being impeccable with your word. What if you told your kids you were going to take them to the park and you didn't? That's not being impeccable with your word. So a lot of times when we speak with the moment. We speak with that second, that moment of time of whatever, just stop bugging me. I'll take you to the park, right? When in actuality, if you looked at your schedule, you would see you didn't have time for the park, right? And you could have said something more to the fact of, and not an emotional response. You could have responded more to the fact of, I don't have time on this part of the day, but I could take you on this part of the day or tomorrow. So being impeccable with your word is, I live and die by my calendar because I always want to be impeccable with my word. I don't want to say, oh yeah, I'll be there tomorrow when I've got this whole training scheduled for tomorrow. So like, there's just no way I'm going to go. And I just lie to myself and this person. So being impeccable with your word is like the number one one here. And I can't even stress it enough. So speak with integrity is the number one thing. And basically only say what you mean. So, and another way that is, so my husband says sometimes, I'll be down in 2 minutes. I'm going to go take a shower. Well, it takes you 2 minutes just to get in the shower. So like, that's not being impeccable with your word. You already know the timing's off. And a lot of us say, well, it's just hearsay. We're just saying, but a lot of that vagueness bleeds into your business. A lot of that vagueness bleeds into your business. So hear me when I say that. Be impeccable with your word, because if you're not saying what you mean, so when just that little thing about my husband talking about going to the shower for 2 minutes could lead into an employee saying, "Oh, well, I don't have to be here on time because I know it takes him more than 2 minutes," or whatever. I mean, I don't have to be here at this time, or I don't have to do this because he never says what he means, right? Do you understand what I'm talking about? So, avoid using that because it bleeds into your business. And then when you're talking with other business partners and individuals, they're seeing that you're not diligent with your word. You may do the subject, but you're not being diligent with the time frame of it. So again, there's always just be impeccable with your word. It really helps to knock all of that out. Okay. And it takes practice. So this is not going to happen overnight. It takes practice, and you have to remind yourself, don't whip yourself for it, but the old Catholic way of they would, whip themselves with the, the give them themselves 70 lashes or something. But take it seriously, right? Like write something down that reminds you, or wear the little bracelet that you can, or rubber band you can snap on your wrist and go, oh, I just did something different. So creating this and making a habit of it is what's key. Okay. And so in the second principle is the agreement, I should say, not a principle, because I'm going to talk about principles probably next week. But the next agreement is to don't take anything personally. So if you're not taking things personally, you're not having to worry about someone gossiping or saying different things. You're not having to worry about others because you're not taking anything personally, right? So let's just say someone's having a bad day and like, oh my God, what did I do? That's taking it personally, right? So I'm just saying that it's a good principle to live by, because you can get wrapped in people's drama very quickly. Okay, so say this perfectly, nothing others do is because of you. Let me say that again. Nothing others do is because of you. Okay, so what others say and do is a projection of their own crap, their own reality, right? Their own dream. Like if they're saying, I mean, let's just say Muhammad Ali, right? If he's sitting there saying, I'm the greatest fighter in the whole world, you're like, you dimwit. No, there's somebody that's way better than you. And there was for a long time, but he became one of the greatest, right? It was his dream and his reality. And that was a very positive way of saying to get out of other people's drama. But that was his world, right? Muhammad Ali said, I am the greatest fighter ever. And nothing, so that pissed off a lot of people, believe it or not. And I think some of that was intentional, but it was his own world of his vision of saying this is where he wanted to go. He had the end in mind, right? And other fighters were like, no, I got proof right here with the belt that I am way better than you. So nothing others say is because of you. And that's the most positive example I can give you. But it still was negative in other people's eyes. Can you believe that? Anyways, so stick to your vision, stick to your world, and don't take anything personally. Okay? When you're immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Okay? So the third one is don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask the questions and express yourself, okay, with what you really want. um, making assumptions will avoid negativity. When you're assuming, what's that saying? You make an ass out of you and me. So don't assume, don't make assumptions, right? Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, drama. Um, just this one alone can completely transform your life. Okay. So don't make assumptions. And I think a lot of, like, have you ever sat on a bus and people were like whispering and they looked at you and they whispered some more and they looked at you and you're like, what? Do I have a booger hanging from my nose? What? Why are they, you're assuming they're talking about you. They could be just, they're talking about this math problem at school and you happen to be in their line sight. So they're not really talking about you. They just happen to be looking at you while they're whispering. And it's a bad thing for people to do. I know. Because it gives you a complex, right? But just don't assume, and then your whole day would be great, right? Your whole day will be great. And the last one I have here for you is to always do your best. So that's what I'm doing here today. It's not perfect. I'm doing my best for my situation today. I don't know if you all know, but my dog passed away last week, and I've had a tough time coming together with it. But always staying committed to what I've agreed to, and that is Make It Happen Mondays, and just doing my best to make it happen, right? And that's truly what this Monday is all about. Make It Happen Monday is, if you're in a funk, if you're in a, like, it's Monday again, right? Like, how do you make it happen? So this is your Monday Make It Happen inspiration, if you will, because I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, and sometimes you really have to dig deep for things to happen, right? You're like, oh, I gotta pull it together, right? It should be Pull It Together Monday or something. But there's, other things with Make It Happen Monday that I'll be talking about. And again, if you guys have topics, let me know and comment down below. But this fourth one here is to always do your best. Always do your best. And little footnotes I have here is your best is going to change from moment to moment, which I was just talking about. Sometimes if you're not feeling well, your best is kind of, the bar is lowered a little bit, right? But when you're at par, and it'll rise as you go, right? It'll rise as you go. When you're at par, sometimes doing your best is a little bit below par, right? Because you got to really pull something together to be that person, right? And I'm not saying, fake it till you make it. I'm saying dig in your soul and be that person you want to be, right? That's where you want to live. That's where you want to live and make things happen, is from the person that is your soul and your soul purpose, and making that happen, right? Because life is not perfect. Life is furthest from perfect. But as long as you're always doing your best, and again, there's some principles that I have been putting together that I'm going to go over on a Make It Happen Monday. Success principles from very successful people that I'm going to bring to you. And so if you're always doing your best, like, so this is part of my dream, right? And I'm doing my best. I'm coming from my soul to be here today, right? Because this is part of who I am, even though I'm kind of at low par, just below par. And again, it's just a little hiccup of, first of all, it's Monday. And second of all, it's, my dog just passed, and it's hard to spend that many years, have that many years on a dog and not just, think about him. So sometimes it takes a minute, but you have to pull it back together. I love that. I'm going to have to make a Pull It Back Together Tuesday, maybe. It just keeps coming up. But always doing your best is the fourth agreement. And sometimes when you're not all together, it takes a little bit more than other times. But the more you do it, is what I'm trying to say, the more you do it. Let's say going to the gym, right? You did your best, you showed up. Maybe that's just your best for that day. But that leads into doing other things, right? Like you have to stay committed to your word, being impeccable with your word, right? Makes always doing your best a little bit easier. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let me repeat that one more time. If you're being impeccable with your word, doing your best gets easier. Okay? Write that one down. All right. So this will, all of these agreements will help keep you from beating yourself up. Quit lying to yourself, quit assuming that you got something down, quit assuming that you don't have something down. Excuse me. And don't take things personally, right? Don't take things personally. It's not about you. It's when people are talking, it's truly not about you. It's about themselves. They're projecting who they are as a person. And the same goes for you, right? Someone might take what you're saying out of context. And then you're like, what happened? So that's, again, we're being impeccable with you see how all these come around, right? All of these make life go round, which is why I'm so dedicated to this book. Again, it's the 4 Agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz, and I'm Joanna Wright, founder of Bottom Line Wealth, helping entrepreneurs, realtors, and professionals build wealth in real estate and keep more of the money that they make. Awesome. So I will see you guys next Monday. Have an awesome week.